Yo, you know this life is just hard to escape, you know? If you a gangbanger and you're trying to make it out, I wish the best for you, yo. Cause it's pretty hard to escape. But fuck it. As I step out the door, begin to hear loud bangs all throughout the streets, and it's usually just gangs blasting at each other just to protect their territories. And the reason they're involved is cause they have bad stories, but that doesn't really matter cause some people like to judge. So remember that they don't know what it's like to throw a grudge. However, many of them always thinks it's really simple, but they don't really know that we're all acting on impulse. They were in our positions, they know it ain't easy, and I'm sure of it because I'm living it. But believe me, the streets where I'm from grew up the small young youth. Yo, I'm telling the truth, and if you want some proof, then spend a couple nights in the projects of Yuma. If you suddenly leave sooner, now you know it's not a rumor. So let me get this straight to every single one of you: the life that I'm living ain't easy, and you have no clue that once you're born into this life, it'll have an impact your entire lifetime, and there ain't no turning back. Cause once you're part of it, leaving it is not an option. I gotta let you know that you should always take precautions. Any other nigga that decides to fucking join will regret that their entire life was best if you avoid. I also gotta tell you that this life ain't really fun, cause you always need to stay alert and carry a gun. And I know that might not be safe though, but life is already painful, so whatever it is, I won't even care because my head is unstable. One last thing I have to say to the children is that the life you're living is dangerous, and I guarantee you will run, because all it does is influence you, kill and steal. And if you ever mess with people, then you know how critics feel. You'll be criminal just as others think of kids, and that's what you wanted despite having no benefits. We live in this life and there ain't no escape. We already know that the kids like to vape, but if you try to get out and become responsible, I just gotta tell you that escape is impossible. We live in this life and there ain't no escape. We already know that the kids like to vape, but if you try to get out and become responsible, I just gotta tell you that escape is impossible. I'm back at it again just to spit another verse. My life is a curse and I just wish it was reversed, so I can fix my past and reshape my perspective of this cruel dark world in less than 5 seconds. Ever since my mindset was gaining self-awareness, all of my situations turned me into a menace. It might sound like I can't really tell the feelings. The struggles that I'm living are the bad things that I'm dealing with, and emotional stress is arguably the worst. Or living in the streets outside and dying of thirst. And I can't really pick because it's hard to compare, but that's usually a pair, and despite that you're aware, pretty much sums up to what I'm really trying to say. If you still can't comprehend, then at the end of the day, you're pretty fucking stupid when it comes to street knowledge, since you never had to struggle with the 40 fucking college. And that's all I need to know about what you've done said, cause this life ain't a joke and it's hard to move ahead. What I'm really trying to say is that this whole shit is hard, because the only way to be fed is a food stamps card. If it doesn't have enough, then you gotta make it work. But if you ever run out, always remember to rob a sales clerk. Times like these is rough and everything's expensive. I know it might be stressful, but don't ever get depressive, cause all it does is make you worse than you already is. You might even try to suicide but you still wanna live. I know it's really hard, but if it gets to that point, don't reach out to anyone and smoke a fat joint. So if you ever wanna get better, then don't ask for help. This life made me learn to have nobody but myself, but that's the way I see it when you're trying to survive life, and you can't trust nobody cause they'll backstab you with a knife. Another thing I've learned is that it's hard to escape. We got hobos, druggies, and kids that like to vape, and they became that because of what I've been saying, but also cause you haven't covered debts that require paying. Everything that I've been saying is the hard times. I've even done crimes, stolen dimes, and said it all in my rhymes. And the last thing I wanna say to those who lived it all is to never back down and keep it going, regardless if you ever fall. Check it. About to spit the chorus. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. We live in this life and there ain't no escape. We already know that the kids like to vape, but if you try to get out and become responsible, I just gotta tell you that escape is impossible. We live in this life and there ain't no escape. We already know that the kids like to vape, but if you try to get out and become responsible, I just gotta tell you that escape is impossible. Yeah, you know that shit is right. All this shit is real true.